York Auto Show continues to roll on, so what are some of the highlights and the lowlights? The two dudes are here with their take on all the action.
Hey Rick, to 2019 New York International Auto Show. We're back for, I don't know how many years this is, but it seems like a while. We're looking over the cars and the things that we're seeing that are catching our eye. And one thing that caught our eye is Rivian, electric pickup and SUV maker. What do you think of this car?
This is a pickup truck you can't buy yet. This is a startup that has funding from Amazon and others that is supposedly going to sell.
Amazon, isn't that so
That's
strange?
Right. No, because Amazon wants to get into everything, right? World domination, that's the Amazon strategy, and I guess this is part of it. So here's the pickup. This is interesting because this would obviously take on Ford and GM, prominent in pickups. GM supposedly was interested in buying a stake in this company, but that deal fell through. You know, GM is putting its electrification efforts into smaller vehicles. Mm-hmm. And if we could have a large SUV like this, or a large pickup like this, or a large SUV, who knows? Could be a game changer.
You know, we've seen some spy shots of the F-150, an electric version being tested, and I think because Ford saw this thing late last year in LA and thought to themselves, we need to get on top of this quickly.
I'll tell you what we know is Tesla has gotten everybody's attention and in some ways changed some of the rules of the game, even though Tesla's kind of struggling. I think the automakers have learned when you see something new like this, pay attention.
Yeah, and Tesla's making their own pickup too.
Yeah.
So you've been walking the floor here. What else caught your eye? Anything interesting?
Toyota Yaris, baby.
What? That's
I know,
weird?
you're not even aware that car exists. It's a subcompact. Toyota is still going full bore at the compact segment, passenger cars, coupes and sedans. They've got everything. So they're introducing a new Yaris, and I think what's interesting about it is it has a lot of safety stuff that's going to be standard. It's a 2020 model year. It's going to have emergency braking as standard. That's actually important for people. I know it doesn't generate much excitement, so now it can be your turn to tell us about all the exciting cars I can't afford, which is what interests you most.
Well, Mercedes has 3 new models here. Porsche has a new 911 Speedster, Rick.
Speedster!
You know
I saw that thing and I thought, that is the dumbest name for a car. The Speedster. I mean, that's like a 14-year-old would come up with that. The Speedster? Come on.
Supposedly,
what if you said it in German? Wouldn't it be more interesting?
Well, the history of that car is they made it for the U.S. market 40 years ago, something like that. And a prominent dealer wanted this kind of more race car-like convertible, you know, just take it to the track kind of car, and actually ask Porsche to make it.
So they're trying to convince people that Porsches are fast. Is that it?
So,
they're speedy because that's not part of the branding right now?
What about you? Anything else?
Well, Lincoln has something called the Corsair, which is basically being known as the baby aviator. They're filling a gap where they need a smaller crossover. Cadillac is finally getting its lineup straightened out, going with nomenclature people can actually remember. So the cars are called the CT 4, 5, and 6, and they just introduced the CT5, and then the crossovers are called the XT 4, 5, and 6. So this makes sense. It's no longer going to be, I don't even know what they were, the CTS, the ATS, the XTS, the SLS, the SMS. Wait, that's text messaging?
Text messaging,
I get them all confused. So, you know, Cadillac, the reviewers say they're executing well on the product, they just kind of have a confusing brand identity, so they're trying to straighten that out.
We'll see if they can finally get it right the ship, I guess. One quick thing I want to know, and you might actually be interested in this, is the new Subaru Outback. They revealed that here. And I also happened upon the Mazda stand. I finally saw the new 3. That's a nice looking car, Rick. Beautiful interior, nice and sporty. And the 3 hatchback, which you used to have, is there.
I did. I owned a Mazda 3, a model year 2006. At the time, it was one of the best cars you could get for the money, and that's what Mazda does really well.
Yeah.
They just give you a lot of car for the money, and I think they'll nail it with the new Mazda 3 as well.
Did you see that new hatchback yet?
I did, yeah.
Did you like it? What'd
Yes,
you think?
I do.
I think it's very handsome.
Well, I mean, it's meant to look edgier,
Yeah.
but that's fine. The other thing I've noticed, everybody is having a crossover in every size category, and the next new car you buy is going to have a giant touchscreen in the front. Everybody has a touchscreen now. It's getting a little silly. This is what Tesla has done. The other automakers look at that big screen in the test and say, we got to do that too. So they're all going to have the touchscreen, and some of them now have touchscreens in the back seat for your kids to play with.
Or 2. Anyway, lots going on here in New York. Come to the show, check it out. Lot to see. Rick, you excited?
Moderately excited.
Moderately. Okay.
See you from New York.
That's good for Rick.
That's good for me.